A few years older than you.
Few.
A few,
A
right?
few.
But
Few decades.
good answer, honey. A few decades. So how do we really know that our Filipina loves us for who we are and not what we can give them or provide for them? Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people watching that are automatically going to assume that they only love you because you're going to give them a better life, take them out of the province, provide for them, and provide for their families. There's going to be that automatic assumption.
Mm-hmm.
And would you agree that in some cases that is true?
There are some, yeah.
Yeah, some, but you know, and this is one of the points of this video, is to help people avoid those situations.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's what they want, though. There are relationships which are like arrangements where an older man really doesn't care about being loved so much. They just want a pretty young girl
The company,
the company, and just that's what they enjoy. And in return, the young pretty girl may only be interested in, well, this man, he's nice enough, but he's providing for me and my family, and that may be the relationship.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But in my experience, and for people that I talk to, the foreigners that really want to get into a serious relationship, they want real love.
Yeah.
You know, and they question that sometimes because they feel a little insecure, maybe because they're a little older and the woman's young. They think, well, can she really love me? In our case, I'm a few years older than you.
Few.
A few,
A
right?
few.
But
Few decades.
good answer, honey. A few decades. Still, can't argue with that, it's true. Okay, now I completely lost my train of thought, but anyway. So going back to today's topic, we can look at this from a couple of different ways. There's those that are spiritual, religious people, Christians in my case, and there's also people that may be watching that are in relationships with a Filipina that don't believe in God, so don't have the Christian values that we put into our relationship. They have different values. But the question still remains, how do you know that your Filipina really loves you? Well, let's start with from a Christian perspective, okay? So if you believe in Jesus as your Lord, your Savior, and you follow a Christian lifestyle, okay, then it's important that when you get into your relationship, that you are being the spiritual leader from the beginning, that you're in a relationship with someone who is godly or open to learning. And this is very important because I've talked to people about this. They've met, you know, Christian men that have met Filipina girls that really don't seem to care much for a godly life or really knowing much about Christianity. They'll often say, oh, we're Catholics, and that's, you know, they don't go to church, they're not practicing, and that's as far as it goes. Yeah. Well, first of all, I think that's, for a Christian, it's not a good thing. I think if you get into a relationship with a Filipina, they have to be willing to want to learn and let you lead them, because from a Christian point of view, when you put Christ at the center of your relationship and follow the biblical teachings of what it says about relationships, I think that you are going to naturally love each other because you're putting Christ at the center and nothing else, not what you can get out of the man, whatever, you know, you're putting the important thing first. So I think that you'll base your relationship on that. Now, let's talk about when we met, because this is a great example. Because I've had, and let me step back before I bring you into this conversation. I've had people say to me that, yeah, if you're a Christian, it's really important that you meet a Christian woman, someone who's already grounded in a strong Christian seed. That would be great. But in reality, especially in the Philippines, I don't think there's a high percentage of Philippine girls that are strong, grounded Christians. They often need a man to come in and lead them. When I met you, you were typical Filipina that when I asked what you believe, you said what?
Catholic. Like our parents, you know, that's typical Filipino. We believe that in Christ, but we don't really live like a Christian, you know. Yeah, something like that.
So the point is, you didn't really have knowledge of Christianity or know much about God. You just grow up understanding that being a Catholic is the religion of the Philippines.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if you do good things will happen, something like that. Like, you know.
So really no knowledge. But when you met me and I told you I was a Christian, and I think I made it clear that I wasn't a Catholic, because there is a difference, quite a lot of differences, that for those that don't know. And so I told you I was a Christian, but you seemed willing at the beginning to want to be led or want to learn more, right? You weren't resistant.
No, I'm open to learn more.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have, to the point where you've become a grounded Christian. You got baptized with me, remember that? That was great. And we've chosen together to put Christ at the center of our relationship and marriage. And so for me, that's one of the strongest reasons we've had a successful marriage, and one of the reasons that I know that you love me, because you know what is the most important thing in life. And it's not money or what you can get or whatever. And by the way, when we first met, I wasn't exactly in a position to provide very well for you anyway, was I?
Yeah, no. You don't have much.
Right, so there's another reason, another way you can know. It's like, you know, at the beginning of our relationship, and I made it clear as well, I didn't have much and I wasn't going to be a provider and everything. So if you can enter into a relationship at the beginning and make sure you're not giving expectations that you're going to be providing lots of money and things and improving their life, and then I think you've got a lot more chance that your Filipino girl is going to learn about you and love you
For who you are. Yeah.
And not
because of your wallet, you know.
Right, because one of the mistakes people always make is, you know, and usually the foreigners do have a little more money than your typical Filipinos, so they are in a position to spoil them. And it's very tempting. We want to spoil our Filipinos. You know, we meet them, they haven't had certain luxuries and things, so we want to give and do nice things. But I think it's a bad way to start the relationship. Do you agree with that or not?
I do agree with that 100%. Because your Filipina would do, like, you know, take advantage of you in some cases.
I think in some cases they do, and
they won't love you for who you are. They will love your wallet.
Well,
maybe.
because that's how you started your relationship.
Yeah, they
and
have
how,
expectation.
Exactly, and that's not the way you want to start, because, you know, you said about taking advantage. I think in a lot of cases, people we know, they do take advantage without realizing they're taking advantage. And the reason they're doing that is because their foreign boyfriend started off by giving and giving. So it became, wow, this is how it is. This is how it is to date. So then, as you said, expectations is a word we use a lot. But now we've kind of started a relationship by giving and providing. So now they're falling in love with what you're doing for them, rather than getting to know who you are and really learning to love you.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. So anyway, so from the Christian point of view, put Christ first, and I think that's already going to lead to a successful relationship.
Yeah, and
now,
also the trust. You will build the trust if you really have God in your life. Like, you're comfortable with your partner, even he go out. Like to you, you know, I have a fully trust because I know that you have God in your life. So I think that's very important. Yeah,
it is. So for those that are not spiritual, don't want to be spiritual, how can they know? Okay, they don't have any higher force in control of their relationship. It's just them. How can the foreign man know if his Filipino really loves him without God in their life? What do you think?
I think one thing is when your Filipina started to think how to make you happy, like to think of your needs first.
Good.
Yeah. I think that's number one I can think of.
There you go. That's actually a great point. So when you're in a new relationship and you can see that the girl that you're with is putting you first, okay? So you don't have God, so they've got to put you first.
Yeah.
But if they're putting you first, and you can see that they're attentive to your needs, and they just want to take care of you and make you happy, and they're not asking for things in return.
Yeah.
They're doing
unconditional love.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. A lot of people just, and people usually haven't been to the Philippines or experienced the culture of these age gap relationships. A lot of people just don't understand that a younger girl can love an older man. Now, you joked earlier about our decades apart, but you know, I know it's not even a question that you truly love me. I know that, but explain how you can love me with the fact that we are decades apart. I mean, can you really find someone decades older than you attractive, for instance? Because I think attraction is a little bit important. Do you think so? Or not? Maybe you don't.
You're attractive.
Well, to you.
To me, I mean, you are. And I think when you truly love someone, you doesn't see the age, you doesn't see, you know, the wrinkles. I just look at you and I see love, you know, that's...
I have lots of wrinkles, I know.
Yeah, so when you truly love someone, you can't think of the, like, you know, I don't see you like a 61 years old. I just look at you like...
61?
You're 61.
Don't remind me.
Like, you're love of my life, like I love you, and that's how I see it, and I don't see that you are old. And
so let's go back to when we first met. Did you know how old I was at the time when we were first communicating?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. And did anything in your mind start thinking, wow, he's old, or maybe that's a bit too much of a gap? What were your thoughts about communicating with someone much older than you?
Actually, I wasn't really concerned about the age. I was more concerned about the communication. Like, because I never dated a foreigner before, so you're the first foreigner I dated. I'm concerned about how can I communicate with you that I don't have...
You mean your English?
Yeah, my English. I do have concern with that. But the age, no. I don't.
So you never just... and this is important for those watching to understand. You never had a moment where you're like, you were young. I don't want to say your age now. Okay, you never have had moments where you're like, well, I'm a very young woman and he's quite old. It never, like, nothing went off in your head and said, wow, that's too old. You just didn't think about it.
Yeah, no, I don't think about it. I was already attracted to you when we first met. Yeah, I don't think about it. I don't think that's my concern. My concern, I said, the communication.
No, and then this is important because I think a lot of, like if we're in America or other Western countries, okay, it would be more normal for a person of your age, okay, if they were looking for a relationship and somebody of my age was approaching them, it would be almost like, oh my God, that's creepy. He's an old man. I mean, there'd be this like, wow, that's just not right, because that's just how you're brought up to think in those countries. That's the normal. That's the culture. But it's not like that over here, right? Because it's very common for these age gap relationships, extremely common, and so. For you see it all the time. You grew up seeing it. It was never a shock to you to see a younger girl with an older man.
Yeah.
It would never be like, you know, where it would be in US or somewhere like that. So it just doesn't, the age thing just doesn't occur to the Filipinos.
It's like normal.
Not in every case, but yeah. Another way you can know if your Filipina's really falling in love with you is when she starts getting excited to want to take you to a hometown or meet the family and friends. That's important. And if and the posting on social media, right? They love to do that. They know, you know. And more importantly, is showing affection to you in front of their friends and family, like you know.
Like she's not embarrassed to hold your hands or being close to you. Yeah, that's one of the good sign.
Yeah, I think it's a good sign, you know.
And then also when she stopped cooking dried fish inside the house.
That's the most important thing when they don't cook dried fish. Yes, that's a real sign of love. And although you occasionally cook something stinky in the kitchen, honey,
It's only a fish.
it's a very stinky fish.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible. Which is why they often have outside kitchens in the Philippines,
Yeah.
right? But you have the ability to cook outside.
Yeah, that's why I
so-
bought it.
Yeah, but don't cook inside anymore. It stinks. Another important thing is respect. When your Filipino girl is showing you that respect, that's a good sign that they're falling in love with you. Because I think respect comes before love, and it's very important for a man to be respected. Sometimes more important than love. So when your Filipino girl is respecting you, it's a very good sign, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Another thing that Filipinas seem to have an issue with, and I don't know if this is a sign that they love you or not, so you can answer this, but it's very, very common for the Filipinas to be jealous.
Is that one of the reasons she loves you?
But I'm just saying, is the fact that your Filipina is extremely obsessively jealous, is that a sign that they really love you? Or is it more of a fear that they're going to lose you?
Yeah, in some reason it is a good thing, but not too jealousy. Like, yeah, because when they love you, they become like, they want their men, they are becoming selfish, like they don't want to share their men. Like even if you just look at a girl, like, look for a few seconds, they will be having a tampo because yeah, they're
So
jealous.
I think jealousy is I don't know, I think that can go either way. I think it's
Yeah.
a sign that obviously because they want you, they don't
Yeah,
want to
they
lose
love
you,
you, yeah.
clearly. So I'm not so sure if it's a strong sign that they love you. I mean, it could be. But I don't know. Sometimes they get a little bit too obsessively jealous.
If it's obsessively jealousy, it's like more on insecurity, not. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, even, you're pretty good compared with most, but even you have your moments.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's and you've experienced this, but other people too as well. Some of you will probably laugh at this because you'll relate. But you can be with a Filipino girl and maybe not even know them that long, and they love to get hold of your phone or look over your shoulder when you're on your phone, and if they see a picture of you with someone else, even if it's decades, because you like the word decades, before you even met, or prior to your relationship, and there's a picture on Facebook or on your somewhere that shows you, or your photos showing you with another girl or an ex-wife, ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
they can still have moments of jealousy and get upset the fact you've even got the picture on your phone.
Yeah, that's correct. There are some Filipina who do that, even if she just saw it in social media like a few decades ago, she would still have a meltdown. Yeah. And that's not your partner's fault anyway.
No, no.
Like his past is not matter in your previous relationship.
Well, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. Anyway, so in conclusion, you can know if your Filipina really loves you. Number one, if you're a Christian from that side, and you're both putting God first, putting Jesus first in your life, okay? That you're reading the Bible together, you're praying together, going to church together. These are very important. If your woman is doing these things, number one, it's a sign that she's growing in her faith and becoming closer to God. So that's good. But there's also the respect that she wants to be with her man when they go to church, for instance, or she'll sit and let him lead her in a Bible study and lead in prayer and stuff like that. There's respect. So from the Christian point of view, I think it's much easier to know if your Filipino really loves you based on your spiritual relationship with God.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I agree 100%.
Okay. And if you don't have that, I think you can still really know that your Filipino girl loves you if she's showing you respect. She's not embarrassed to be affectionate with you in public. She likes to hold you, hug you, hold your hand. Also that she's happy for you to be introduced to the family. She wants to introduce you to her friends. You know, these are all really good signs that she loves you. And you know, and when she's not asking you constantly for money or to give money to her family, or because she wants material things, if she's not doing that ever, and I will say you never did that, and so there was that respect from the beginning. You never asked me for anything, you know, and I didn't. I know people see the videos that we have a nice house and a car, and we're living a lifestyle that's quite nice now. Well, that's all praise to God, because when we met, I didn't have much. I actually just went through a bankruptcy. I was penniless. I had nothing, and you knew that. I was in a process of filing bankruptcy when we met, and I explained to you that I was in that situation. So clearly, you didn't come after me for money, because you're a beautiful girl, and if that was your motivation, you could have scammed many people. Right? So anyway, that's just a few things that we wanted to share with you, that in ways you can know that your love is real. Please, if you have other thoughts, things we're missing, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff, make a comment. Let us know what you think. And let us know, for those that are in relationships right now, give us some comments on how your relationship's going, and we'd love to hear from you, and like to read the comments. So any last thoughts, honey?
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And honey, I love you.
I love you too. Okay.